In the world of the NBA, not every team is destined to shine. Some write their legacy with glory and championship rings, while others become an example of what should never be done. Today, we present to you the top 5 worst teams in NBA history. Get ready, because these stories are almost as tragic as they are hilarious. We begin with the Charlotte Bobcats of the 2011 to 2012 season, a team that achieved an absolutely embarrassing record. 7 wins and 59 losses in a lockout-shortened season. This gave them the worst winning percentage in history, with a miserable 10.6%. The most frustrating thing for fans was watching how the team simply didn't compete. They ranked last in points per game, last in shooting percentage, and first in being ridiculed by the league. Not even their owner, Michael Jordan, could save them from this disaster. That season was so bad that the franchise changed its name shortly after, trying to erase the shame. Let's travel back to the 70s with the Philadelphia 76ers of the 1972 to 1973 season, a team that finished with a 9-73 record, which many consider the worst roster of all time. Despite having players like Fred Carter, the team simply didn't work. Their defense was non-existent and their offense looked like a failed experiment. Fans stopped attending games, and the 76ers became known as the 9-73, a nickname that still haunts them. It was such a disastrous year that it took the franchise nearly a decade to regain competitiveness. In third place, we have the Dallas Mavericks of the 1992 to 1993 season, a team that seemed more like a joke than an NBA franchise. They finished with a record of 1171. But the worst part wasn't the number. It was the spectacle on the court. The Mavericks were a complete mess. They had no offensive or defensive identity, and their young stars couldn't find any chemistry. This season is so infamous that many consider it the reason why the Mavericks took almost a decade to make it back to the playoffs. At least their fans could say the uniforms were decent. Or were they? In second place, we find the Vancouver Grizzlies in their inaugural 1995 to 1996 season. This team is the perfect example of what happens when you throw a franchise into competition without experience or talent. With a record of 1567, the Grizzlies were the laughingstock of the league. Their slow playing style, poor defense, and lack of a true leader doomed them. The Grizzlies never managed to fit into Vancouver, and their legacy in that city is filled with losses and clearance rack jerseys. Finally, we arrive at the worst team of all time, the New Jersey Nets of the 2009 to 2010 season. With a 1270 record, this team started the season with 18 consecutive losses, setting a record nobody wants to match. Despite having players like Brook Lopez, they simply couldn't compete. The lack of a dominant point guard and constant injuries made this season a nightmare for the Nets. It was so bad that the franchise moved to Brooklyn shortly after, trying to leave the stigma of this disaster behind. And there you have it, the top 5 worst teams in NBA history. These teams remind us that, in sports, failure is just as important as victory, because without it, we wouldn't have such memorable stories. What other team do you think should be on this list? Leave it in the comments and don't forget to subscribe for more NBA content.